My needle drops. It is nasty and hot and humid and I am miserable right now. But I've got to do an album review of the new Here We Go Magic LP, Pigeons. Before I get into it, I want to say that the site, theneedledrop.com, is now back up. Thank you, GoDaddy. You're cool. And, yeah, go check that out when you get a chance. The template isn't up on there as of right now, but it'll be up there very soon. You know, as soon as the weekend's over, I have some time on my hands. Here We Go Magic is a Brooklyn outfit with a new sophomore album and a new sound, too. The band's self-titled debut was the solo effort of their frontman, Luke Temple, one of those one-guy, 4-track machine jobs, with a very hazy, psychedelic, minimalist approach to sound and structure. Some pretty catchy tracks came out of the project, too, like Tunnel Vision and Fangella. Bam, links right there. Give them a listen. Of course, because of those tracks and the self-titled debut, some buzz picked up behind the project, and Here We Go Magic expanded into a 5-member band, and this new LP is the result. Earlier this year, the band dropped a single from the LP before its release, Collector, and for me, that song was a really exciting change in direction for this band, just because it sounded just like something that could have come out of the Krautrock movement. One band that I want to recommend out of that movement, the group Noi. And if there are some sounds that you can most definitely expect from this genre of music, it's very tight, very straightforward drumming, some reserved guitars, spacey synthesizers, very linear, repetitive song structures with an emphasis on building, the kind of music that you can really get lost in. But of course, Here We Go Magic doesn't really exercise this type of music without putting their own spin on it. There are a lot of very colorful vocal harmonies throughout this LP, and also a very contemporary studio clarity to the whole thing. I know a lot of people who are watching this video may not be familiar with Krautrock, may not have a palate for Krautrock, so the sounds on this LP may be very new to you, but because I'm kind of used to this stuff, because I enjoy this stuff quite a bit, this is a very vintage sounding LP for me. Plus, it's really obvious that this thing was recorded to tape, which only adds to the old school sound of it. The drums are very soft and fluffy and dampened. The guitars aren't very sharp at all. The synthesizers and the bass guitar, of course, are very warm and resonant and humming. And there's a lot of variety and consistency on this LP too. Consistency because the whole thing really sticks to the minimalist, synth-heavy sound throughout the entire album. No real left hooks when it comes to that kind of stuff. But variety because there's a ton of great emotion on this album. Old World United is this really snappy, chaotic, catchy piece of post-punk, while another song, F.F.A.P, is this really soft, gentle, atmospheric song that builds into nothing short of a psychedelic freakout. My one problem is that there is a real pocket full of tracks on this thing that just kind of meander for me, put a few potholes in the road. Either songs that maybe just take a little too long to say what they're supposed to say, or tracks, especially the two at the end, that kind of really don't do anything but just display an idea and then quickly duck out before you actually realize that you're not really getting a track but more of a motif or a simple rough drawing of an idea. I didn't meet a track on here that I hated, for sure. However, don't expect the electrifying feel of songs like Collector, Old World United, even Land of Feeling to last throughout the entire album. That's really my only critique of it. Some tracks really just kind of pale in comparison to others. I'm feeling a strong 6 to a light 7 on this album. It is an okay album. It's kind of good. There are just a few moments on here that I didn't really care for, that I could kind of... But aside from that, I think this really is a step up from their last LP in a really interesting direction. I love the sound that these guys are pursuing, and I really love that they're bringing back a genre of music, putting their own spin on it, and giving it a lot of sincerity too. So if you're looking for some minimalist rock with a strong pop sensibility, you're looking for something that is just so in the moment, warm tape sound, kind of a vintage aesthetic, something that is really synthesizer heavy, sometimes sober, sometimes psychedelic, something that really tips its hat to Krautrock. This is where you want to be. Here We Go Magic, Pigeons. Anthony Fantano, here we go, forever.